A very good evening, everybody. From today onwards, I'll be dealing with a series of lectures on the topic Important Judgments That Transformed India. It will be a series of 30 or more lectures which would tell us how the important landmark judgments actually changed India for its better. So, the very first case that we will be dealing with today is Romesh Thapar versus State of Madras, filed in the month of March 1950. Now, why is this date important? This date becomes very important because 2 months back, that is in January 1950, we adapted our constitution, and in just 2 months time, the very first case and the very first amendment came into play. So, it somehow tried to show that there are things which are not very intact in the constitution, and if need arises, we have to change the constitution for its better. So, without much ado, let's start with the case Romesh Thapar versus State of Madras. Now, two important terminologies are important. First is petitioner, the second is respondent. Romesh Thapar was the petitioner and State of Madras was the respondent, and the case was being heard in Supreme Court of India, the apex court of India, the important court, the topmost court of India. Now, who is a petitioner? Somebody who petitions, somebody who writes about the things that are hampered to him, and when respondent is someone who responds against those charges. So, Romesh Thapar was a petitioner, and why did he file a petition? He filed a petition because his journal, which was published in Bombay, the name of the journal was Crossroads, it was banned. Okay, so if it was published in Bombay, why was it banned in Madras? So, this becomes again important because Crossroads was though published in Mumbai, but it was also circulated in Madras. The government there was a Congress-led government, and Romesh Thapar, he had a Marxist ideologies. So, in his journal, what he did was he used to critique the government, and he used to question the government, he used to bring out different faults in the government, and he used to kind of show a mirror to the problems that people were facing. So, now when the government was Congress led, obviously there was a kind of fear in the mind of government that if this journal keeps on circulating, what will happen is there will be a kind of doubt in the minds of people, and that can somehow lead to the fall of the government. So, as we all know that no government will want its downfall. So, what they did was they actually conferred an order which was named as Madras Maintenance of Public Order Act, and in that what they did was they completely banned the circulation of Crossroads. Now, what happened was, obviously when this was banned, Romesh Thapar came to his own rescue, and he filed a complaint, he filed a petition in Supreme Court of India. Now, if I quote the words, so it was written for the order that His Excellency the Government of Madras, being satisfied that for the purpose of securing the public safety and the maintenance of public order, it is necessary so to do, hereby prohibits with effect on and from the date of publication of this order in the 4th St. George Gazette, the entry into or the circulation, sale or distribution in the state of Madras or any part therefore of the newspaper entitled Crossroads, an English weekly published at Bombay. So, with these words, the entire journal was banned in the state of Madras, and especially the western part of Madras, that is present day Kerala. So, now what happened? Romesh Thapar approached the Supreme Court under Article 32 for a writ of prohibition or certiorari. Now, what is Article 32(1)? It says that there any citizen has a right to move to the Supreme Court of India by appropriate proceedings for the enforcement of the rights conferred by the part 3 is guaranteed. And what is part 3? Part 3 is the fundamental right. Okay. Now, why did he evoke this particular article? Because part 3 says that you have the right to freedom of expression and speech. And since this particular journal was banned, it showed that Romesh Thapar was curbed of his particular fundamental right, that is freedom of speech and action, and therefore he filed this petition and moved to Supreme Court of India. So, if any time, if you are if your fundamental right is curbed, you can move to Supreme Court of India. So, Ramesh Thapar did so, and Article 32(2) says the Supreme Court shall have the power to issue direction or orders or writs, including writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto and certiorari. We will be dealing with all these things later in the series, whichever may be appropriate for the enforcement of any of the rights conferred by part 3, I am so sorry, part 3. So, again Supreme Court has these kind of power. If any citizens part 3, that is fundamental right is curbed. Okay. So, what were the arguments in the case? So, now we have understood what happened. A journal was banned. Government said that there is a kind of problem with the public safety and maintenance of a public order, and therefore this magazine cannot be circulated in a particular part of the country. Fine enough. Now, what are the arguments that Romesh Thapar put forward? He said that this particular order contravenes, that is it is a kind of a contrary to his fundamental right, that is Article 19 clause 1, Article 19 clause 1 subclause A of the Constitution. What does Article 19(1)(a) says? Article 19(1)(a) provides all the citizens the right to freedom of speech and expression, to assemble peacefully or without arms, to form association or unions, and further. Now, he says that my particular 19(1)(a), the very first clause, that is the freedom of speech and expression, is being curbed. Well, okay. And what did freedom of speech and expression said? That anyone has a right to propagate one's views as well as views of others, freedom of the press, freedom of commercial advertisements, right against tapping of telephonic conversations, right to telecast, that is government has no monopoly on electronic media, and so on and so forth. Okay. So, Romesh Thapar said that his particular right was being curbed, and therefore he had moved to the Supreme Court of India. Now, Thapar also argued that this particular Madras Maintenance of Public Order 1905 also is inconsistent with the Article 19(1)(a), because it hampers his freedom of speech, and therefore it is also against Article 13(1) of the Constitution, which says that any article, any order which is against the fundamental right of freedom and expression will be completely null and void. Okay. So, this case has two things. First, this particular order is curbing the freedom of speech of an individual, plus it is also against 13(1) of the Constitution, and therefore this particular order is null and void, and Romesh Thapar's magazine journal cannot be banned. So, State of Madras, what did they say? They say that public safety is being hampered here, and therefore we cannot let you publish or circulate your journal in our state. So, State of Madras also said that this Ramesh Thapar had no right to quickly move directly move to Supreme Court of India, but he had to go through the High Court of India, and only then he can pass the he can move to Supreme Court of India. But the Supreme Court of India, what did they give the judgment? Supreme Court of India said that freedom of speech and expression includes freedom of propagation of ideas, and that freedom is ensured by the freedom of circulation. So, freedom of expression is important because it says that you can write your ideas, you can propagate your views, you can give your expressions, but that does not mean that you will keep it to yourself. You have to necessarily circulate it, because only when you circulate, your ideas will go forth and your views will be published. So, that is very important. Second, that liberty of circulation is an essential to that freedom as a liberty of publication. Indeed, without circulation, the publication would be of little value. So, he said that if you just you have written something, but you are unable to publish it, then of course that won't be a freedom of expression, and that means that your freedom of expression is curbed. So, Supreme Court of India said that fundamental right under Article 19(1)(a) of the citizen of the petitioner was completely violated, and therefore this Madras Maintenance of Public Order was completely null and void under Article 13(1). So, the Supreme Court of India said that since this particular thing is being violated, so State of Madras cannot ban this particular journal to be published and circulated. Second of all, when it was said that why did the petitioner directly move to Supreme Court of India? So, Supreme Court of India said that Article 32(1) directly says that anybody whose fundamental right is being violated, he can move to Supreme Court of India, because Supreme Court is the protector and guarantor of fundamental rights, and therefore the petitioner has made no wrong in directly moving to Supreme Court of India without actually moving to High Court of India. So, this is completely normal in this case. So, what is the importance of this case? The judgment of Ramesh Thapar case is one of the finest in the history of India, in the history of the judgment of Supreme Court of India, and it upheld the freedom of speech and expression, which lay at the foundation of all democratic organizations. The court observed that free political discussion is essential and for the proper functioning of democratic government. It should also be noted that earlier, when we had this freedom of speech and action, only two things were importantly written when your fundamental rights can be violated or curbed. That was in the case of on the grounds of sovereignty and integrity. But soon after this case, it was understood that there are kinds of condition which has to be added in order to curb, or in order to make a person stop a person from his fundamental right, and there were these few phrases that were added. So, those phrases were: first, the sovereignty of course and the integrity of India. Next was the security of the state. If the state feels that there is a kind of problem with the security, only then the freedom of speech and expression will be curbed. Next is the friendly relations with foreign states. If there is a problem to that, then the fundamental right of speech and expression can be imposed. And public order, decency or morality, contempt of court, defamation and incitement of offence. If these are the cases in anybody's freedom of speech and expression, only then your freedom of expression can be banned. Otherwise, you can any state or any organization or the state or the nation at large cannot curb the individuals, the citizens' right to speech and expression. Again, this case is very important because the very first amendment was made in the constitution because of this, and these few phrases were added to the constitution. So, in the article 19 of the constitution, the following clause was substituted. So, one was, nothing in subclause A of subclause 1 of clause 1 shall affect the operation of any existing law or prevent the state from making any law is so far as such law imposes reasonable restrictions on the exercise of the right conferred by the said subclause in the interest of the security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency or morality, or in relation to contempt of court, defamation or incitement to an offence. The amendment also inserted the following, and I quote, no law in force in the territory of India immediately before the commencement of the constitution, which is consistent with the provisions of article 19 of the constitution as amended by subsection 1 of this section shall be deemed to be void or over to have become void on the ground only that, being a law which takes away or abridges the right conferred by subclause A of subclause 1 of the said articles, its operation was not saved by subclause 2 of that article was originally enacted. In other words, the amendment gave some protection to the pre-constitutional laws which are consistent with article 19. Hence, we understand that this particular landmark case of Ramesh Thapar versus State of Madras 1950 brought three important things in the history of India. The first was freedom of speech and expression. The second was right to move to the Supreme Court of India. And third, it led to the amendment of the constitution. So, it was important to understand that you cannot just take the words written in the constitution in its absolute form, but time here and there we need to have some amendments to actually bring what India actually stands for, and that is a democratic state, a democratic nation. So, with that I will end this lecture, the very first case of Ramesh Thapar and State of Madras case, and in the next series we will move forward to another landmark case which shaped the entire country, which shaped the nation. Till then, see you, bye bye. If you have any questions regarding this particular chapter, you can leave them in the comment box and I will try to answer them there itself, or I will bring them in the next lecture so that we can have an important discussion. Till then, keep studying and keep understanding your nation, your